Morning folks, day 6 I think it is, so I'm just packing up the bike and getting ready to go. So 360 k's to Boulia today from Winton, so that's beyond the range of the motorbike and there's no fuel stops in between. So I've got to load these guys up. I've got 2 5-litre jerry cans in here, so I'll be loading those up with fuel, which will add an extra 10 kilos to the bike. So just making doubly sure everything's strapped down and ready to go. There is a little pub slash shack in between called Middleton. The last time I was there, you could get a sausage roll, microwave sausage roll and a can of Coke. That was about it. No fuel. So I'll have to double check road conditions and everything like that before I go. So that's my job for the morning. So yeah, it's going to be a big day on the bike, but pretty quiet and bit of a boring ride really, but beautiful landscape, but not a lot in between here and there. Anyway, I'll be able to keep going and get on the road, and I'll let you know how I go. Cheers guys. Morning guys. So on to day 6, Winton to Boulia. 360 k's with really just a bit of a shack in between at a place called Middleton. No fuel. Last time I was there, you get a sausage roll and a can of Coke. That was about it. So I loaded up the jerry cans for the first time, so they're fully fueled and ready to go. I've got 10 litres in there, 14 litres in the tank, so should be good to go. Always a bit of a challenge in these big days is that something happens to my fuel. So there's the worry that I drop or lose, or there's a hole in my fuel tank or fuel canisters in my jerrys and it goes pear-shaped, and so that would be very, very unfortunate. Really more embarrassing than anything. I think, you know, there's going to be enough traffic out here on the road that if anything happens, I'm covered, and I've got my InReach Mini, so that if it really goes pear-shaped, I can get assistance. I can get medical assistance and emergency assistance, but that's very different from ringing up and saying I ran out of fuel. So yeah, so hopefully that won't happen. But anyway, about to shoot through town for the last time and be on my way. Well guys, I'm about 20 k's outside of Winton and the road has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller until I'm on the single track. So those patches on the side look very, very loose, so I'll be trying to avoid driving in those because I might not get out in a real hurry. And yeah, but anyway, look, it got real remote real quick. It's really, really flat out here. 160 k's to Middleton. As I mentioned, there's nothing in Middleton other than a microwave sausage roll and a can of Coke, but beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, I plan on doing my first stop at the 100k mark. That's going to be really my point of no return. Obviously I can do 200 k's on the bike tank, so if I stop at 100 k's, reassess everything, check that my jerry cans are still good, and that everything's good to go, then I'll carry on. But if everything's not hunky-dory, then I've got to turn around. Anyway, that's in 80 k's, so I'll just sit back and enjoy the scenery and try not to end up in the dirt on the side of the road. Anyway, cheers guys. Okay guys, I'm just at a rest area 90 k's into the trip, so just did a quick double check of my packing and it still seems pretty secure. So I have a quick sip of water and just a quick bite to eat. Got some biscuits in here just to keep it going, and then back on the road. So it's at a quarter of the way down already. So yeah, so far so good. Much better. Well, that was my point of no return stop. So everything looks good. The fuel's contained and strapped down. So making pretty good time. So Middleton is in about 70 k's. So I'll have another stop there and crunch the numbers. I'm not sure if I should transfer my fuel there or not, or wait. If Middleton is within 200 k's, I can. If it is not, I won't. I don't want to do 2 fuel transfers. I want to do it once. So the earlier I transfer, the less I can get out of the jerrys and into the tank of the bike. And that also means that the less distance I can go. There's no point transferring now because I'll have to transfer it again at the end. So may as well wait till I'm within 1 tank range of Boulia before I transfer my tank circuits. So I'll crunch the numbers at Middleton and we'll go from there. That guy's doing it tough. Man, I thought it was hot out here riding a motorbike. That guy on that push bike was doing it tough. It's only got 115 k's to go into Winton, so man, you gotta love the pushy to do that sort of stuff. Love to. Well guys, it's 20 past 12 and I'm just outside of Middleton. Can't be very far from Middleton at all actually, but boy oh boy it is warming up. So, as I mentioned the other day, I'm back in sort of this mesa country with these tabletop plateaus around me, and what I'm finding is that we travel along and then we dip into this sort of channel country where there's a lot of creeks and trees and greenery and foliage and stuff, and then you pop back out into the desert plain and shoot across again. And so inside these inside the channels it's very dry and there's very little wind, but then on the plain it's very windy, so, and just as hot. So it's not as if they're an oasis or anything, it's just that there's more trees there than there's not. But anyway, alright, Middleton can't be too far away. I hope not, I'm very thirsty. So I'll let you know when I get there. Cheers. And just for comparison, this is what it's like when you pop out of that channel country. And in other news, I'm now within 200 kilometres of Boulia, so I should be able to transfer my fuel across when I get to Middleton. Look, it may as well be in the fuel tank of the bike, not necessarily in the jerry cans on the back. It's safer in the fuel tank of the bike. It's going to give me much more certainty. I'm not going to be worried about dropping it, falling, losing, leaking, whatever. So I may as well have it in the bike's fuel tank. So I'll do that when I get to Middleton. So here we are in Middleton. Hilton Hotel in Middleton. I Middleton. I don't know if you can see, but there's a couple of emus have just run across the road in here. So, seen a few emus this trip. But anyway, yeah, so that's Middleton. Fuel has been transferred across. There's a couple of litres in each jerry can. I really did squeeze the maximum I could put in those jerry cans, which is good. But and then I obviously maxed out the tank in the bike as well, so that's absolutely full to the brim now. So got about 190 to go, I reckon, to Boulia. Should be pretty easy on a full tank, plus a bit of reserve in there. Should be no worries at all. Getting very warm. Glad to be back on the bike and moving again. So now I just got to strap in. Here we are in one of these little channels. We'll jump back out onto the plane in a minute. Cheers, guys. Wow, guys, this is barren, barren country. And in other news, Duncan, you'll be pleased to know that I glued my Australia flag patch down. Didn't want to lose that bad boy. G'day folks, I'm about an hour, about 100 k's outside Boulia. Just pulled over to stretch my legs. I was originally going to try and stop somewhere in a bit of shade, but that's proving to be a little bit of a challenge. So I'm just on the side of the road, genuinely in the middle of nowhere. So it's a little bit like the surface of Mars. There are some low-level bushes, maybe trees over there. That must be another channel over there, or maybe it's one that runs in a bit of a horseshoe around me. But anyway, yeah, right here, right now, there's nothing. Yeah, it's very, very warm. Obviously, there are no clouds in the sky. A little bit of a breeze, thankfully, and at least on the bike when you're moving, it's okay. But standing here in the sun is very warm. So I'll have a stretch, have a drink, have a bite, and kick back on. Cheers. Well, here we are, folks. Oh, the old Burke River's looking a bit rough. Over there washing a pony? Why not?